You believe you are aware of the truth regarding Chrissy Jones and Jim Jones reconsider. Because you believed you knew everything. Be completely appended. If I were to reveal the worst betrayal to you was not from Jim's adversaries, but it was from the lady he most trusted, Chrissy, it's more than just a little secret. This type of bombshell has the potential to break their whole world. Cameron's a family member just dropped a bombshell following shocking revelation of a twisted truth. It is difficult to realize that Chrissy's life is about to be revealed. In a way that nobody can. Jim was left standing after he realized what was coming. Alone, betrayed, and blindsided. What when the person you cared about is concealing the most sinister secrets? You could never think that these are merely rumors. This is going to be an in-depth expose of everything you were unaware of and unable to possess envisioned. Pay attention, because if you believe me, you've heard the worst. Not even keep your mouth shut. It's worse than you. Imagine if I told you all of your believed you were aware of Chrissy Lamons. What if the ideal partnership was a lie? You've been watching television for more than 10 years? Nothing but a web of lies? What? If Jim Jones, the person who has put her trust in him, is currently the victim of a betrayal so profound that it might come apart? All of his creations endure because this is not merely rumors. The truth bomb is set to detonate on the Harlem streets and beyond. And it will force you to look at Jim Jones and Chrissy Elkin in a completely different way. Let us dissect Cameron, the man who contributed to Jim's career development, who has been supporting him during the highs and lows, had just revealed something shocking that nobody anticipated. And Jim isn't the only one. Chrissy Lamine is at the center of this. At the heart of a scandal so big it could utterly ruin Jim's career and reveal the unpleasant reality that no one was aware of existed. You've witnessed the glitzy images of the public events, and the Codair scored a few goals, but he was behind. The scenes are a distinct story. Absolutely. Cameron's family has recently revealed the startling reality that Jim was unaware that we were conversing. Concerning mysteries so profound and sinister that they might bring the whole deck of cards crumbling down. Consider it, Chrissy. A woman who has been with Jim for several years has been leading to separate lives. And now that the truth has been revealed, Jim must gather the fragments. It feels like a chilly slap in Jim's face, and to everyone else who listened to their narrative. This is real, not a reality TV drama. The pinnacle of life betrayal. And how did here we meet Cameron, a man who's always been reluctant to express his opinions, has simply drew aside the curtain to reveal the details of Chrissy's secret existence. For Chrissy has spent years living under a disguise she has been wearing as although Jim's rock. The truth is far from that. The family of Cameron has disclosed that Chrissy has been a part of dubious transactions, private matters, and even business decisions that weaken Jim's. Have faith. As they say, you can only conceal truth for a long time. And now it's appearing in the most striking manner. Perhaps Chrissy's life is more than just a reality, reveals that it is a network of lies. So it is so convoluted that it cannot be ignored. Jim is the last man remaining in the wreckage. He has been caught off guard by the treachery of a person he believed he could, above everything, trust. But let's talk. Regarding the depth of the secrets involved, Chrissy's concealment isn't limited. To know, we're not talking about infidelity or cheating. Regarding a lot more corporate corruption, dubious transactions, and behind-the-scenes alterations that were meticulously concealed from Jim. Cameron was the man for years. He had just revealed the truth to everyone. And now everyone is observing, as in real time, Jim's life is falling apart. Let us discuss the first of many. One that uses money and power is a secret and treachery for years that Jim relied on. In addition to his heart, Chrissy, they've had collaborative ventures with his business. Ventures collaborated on several initiatives and even established an empire. Yet in the background, Chrissy has been operating her own clandestine business. employing her ability to control the circumstances in her favor based on close sources. In relation to what Chrissy has been engaged in several dubious financial transactions that Jim was unaware of. These transactions have resulted in losses and negative investments for which Jim is currently held accountable due to Chrissy. Keeping him in the darkest aspect of these deals threatened to bring Jim's whole business to a halt. While he supported her and had faith in her implicitly, and we must not overlook Chrissy's personal side of this mess affairs and her private life that no one was aware of have been ongoing for years, and we're discussing relationships that are concealed, covert travel and relationships. Jim couldn't even fathom those who might ruin him if they ever had the chance. Cameron was aware of the crazy portion. Every member of Cameron's family was aware of the circumstance for some time, but didn't speak anything out of devotion to Jim. But now that the truth has been revealed, their not extended stay, the man who helped Jim build his career was silent, has had enough, and now everyone is aware of it. The truth regarding Chrissy's dubious activities and treachery. But it's not only about funds and is about loyalty, not affairs. Have faith in two things. Jim believed he had Chrissy, but he's been abandoned. To pick up the shards of a career by yourself, the thing is about to collapse on its own. Acknowledge the fact that everything he believed he was aware of Chrissy's construction on falsehoods. So why is Cameron acting in this manner? Is he finally exposing Chrissy? Are these years due to the personal background involving him and Jim? Or considering that Cameron has finally seen having enough of Chrissy's games, engaging in activities that have caused Jim greater harm more than anyone could have? Imagine this. Here's what Cameron is. He's tired of the falsehoods and don't allow Chrissy to continue getting away with it. He has been socialized on the streets, Mita, and he is now disclosing all of the specifics of Chrissy's secrets are revealed, and there's no turning back. And Jim, he's left holding the bag, though, while Chrissy has been engaging in risky behavior. However, how severe was this betrayal? Simply work-related? Or is there more to what is Chrissy concealing in this story? Sticky secrets Jim was unaware of around as we're just starting to begin. The truth is on the verge of destroying. Isn't the truth painful in every way? Always. Does when you consider everything you were aware of, all you believe to be secured disintegrates in front of your eyes? And that's precisely what's taking place. Now to Jim. Chrissy's profound betrayal of Jones Lampkin, whom he believed and trusted. His rock was revealing itself in the most public humiliation method. However, that's only the start of the actual botch. The consequences of these disclosures is more than anyone could ever have. Jim Jones, the hip-hop tycoon, is on the verge of losing everything in his profession, repute. The very kingdom he has invested years of development, and it's all due to Chrissy, one person. But here's the twist. Chrissy isn't only interested in herself. The family of Cameron has been silent, demonstrating the extent of this betrayal more than just monetary losses and concealed affairs. There is an entire network secret plan in which Chrissy participated and the world is only now beginning to link the let us dissect it. Chrissy wasn't merely tugging at Jim's back, she was portraying Cameron on both sides, who has never completely been Jim's closest ally. Cameron had faith in Chrissy for years. Suspicions persisted, although Jim was unaware of, and let's be honest, everyone was engrossed in the fantasy of the belief that Chrissy and he were the final power couple. But now it's here. Everything is disintegrating piece by piece. Where it becomes the lies that Chrissy told were more than merely personal financial schemes that she was engaged in are becoming apparent. And their size surpasses that of anyone. Supposedly, Cameron's family has supplied shocking information regarding a dubious enterprise transactions that harmed Jim, in addition to betrayed his faith to the extent that, almost difficult to understand, Chrissy was serving as the guardian, excluding Jim from the information when it came to two financial choices that ought to have been discussed. And Jim is currently dealing with the repercussions of her concealing. Tricks for people who are unaware, Chrissy was the creative force for several dubious investments. Jim didn't have concepts were being developed under his name, whether businesses were the ones that stole funds or dubious real estate transactions. Jim was when the bills arrived. I was left with the bag. According to reliable people close to the matter, that Jim had complete faith in Chrissy. Additionally, she exploited it, but what's Chrissy is reported to be even worse. This is a devoted companion to Jim, correct? She has been on both sides of the argument, making handle some of Jim's business behind his back. Fiercest adversaries consider it. Chrissy has engaged in backdoor transactions. With those who've always been in it, her behavior has been putting Jim through. Jim's kingdom is in danger, and it's not simply business. This is private. And Jim is currently left in an attempt to correct everything, except that the public has already suffered harm. The reaction is only getting started. This goes viral among fans. And other celebrities are being measured, and the responses are calls coming from all over. Chrissy is a genius, while others are just describing her as a villain. Although the majority of the startling aspect about Jim's own circle is beginning to turn away from him, uncertain about his allegiances after this shocking revelation. This is where it all begins. Jim has been struck with more than simply a personal betrayal. Although he is currently dealing with the general public repercussions, as the news began, everyone began talking about the leak. And you understand how this operates once the truth is revealed. There is no way back out there. And now Jim must confront his own public collapse while attempting to determine if Chrissy was in the background. Cameron, who's tugging all the strings, said to be among Jim's closest buddies. He holds himself personally accountable for not perceiving this as occurring sooner. As per Cameron, an insider has been cautioning Jim for years that there was a problem with Jim was too oblivious to Chrissy's feelings. He never thought the woman would have. He had been with her for a long time, engaged in this kind of enterprise. But now Cameron is no longer able to contain himself. To have a friend is one thing, enmeshed in a negative circumstance, but when that circumstance puts everything you've worked for in jeopardy, you must now speak up because you have no other option. Legal issues are imminent, and Jim is confronting the very real potential for facing legal action or maybe the government examinations of the dubious transactions. If it's proven Chrissy was involved, in that she used his name to exploit him, and resources to commit fraud, Jim could have investments responsible for a portion of those obligations, and given the current state of affairs, Jim is confronting the very real potential for a financial catastrophe. But the general fallout is as vicious as the fans who used to admire Jim and Chrissy are currently. How could they doubt their allegiance? How could they have been so blind? Tricked into thinking this was a genuine romance when, in fact, it was only a game for Chrissy. The criticism has come quickly, and Jim's following is beginning to grow. He's had his reputation damaged, and the world is now asking the difficult queries about Jim's true employer after all these years. The family of Cameron has gone so far as to release recordings that show some of the most startling discoveries regarding these leaked tapes. Reveal Chrissy's double life, surpass all that someone could own. Envisioned, Chrissy speaks on tape about attempting to manipulate Jim's image in order to ruin his career by linking him with dubious individuals who were trying to eliminate him initially. With these tapes are quite explosive, and they have only served to increase the public's fury. Let's not even discuss the roaring social media firestorm. Everyone from hip-hop artists to influencers on social media are contributing, expressing their thoughts on the Chrissy and Jim Jones are situationally bashful. Lampkin is moving in the wrong direction. Reasons why fans are going crazy, according to one tweet. Jim, you've been played, and we all anticipated it. Another says, Chrissy has been absolutely, however, manipulating Jim, deserves better. Every one of these folks has a darker side. Are now wondering how much of Jim developed his career on. Was it truly all Chrissy's? Lies. Did she the development of? Was she holding Jim back? Or was he successful? Back the entire time, the conjecture is limitless, and the truth is revealed with every fresh disclosure. Grows more financial upheaval and a convoluted legal lawsuit and public indignation are simply at the start of this debacle. There's no estimating the potential reach of this, but there is no doubt that Jim Jones is currently at a crossroads. It's not just a betrayal of his emotions, but his empire's disintegration. Now that we've revealed the full scope of Chrissy Lynn's treachery, the question still stands. Occurs next as the narrative progresses to Jim Jones must deal with the harsh actuality of losing not just his own relationship, but also his empire, repute, and possibly even his liberty. The complete scope of Chrissy's distortions are starting to become obvious, and what once appeared to be a romance from a fairy tale has now become a nightmare in which no one anticipated the public backlash would be sweeping across the media like wildfire. The circus that Jim and Chrissy are in is growing more intense every day. The world is observing, and it's not just Jim's career these days, it's about the breaking of trust. Friendships break down, and the possibility of everything being destroyed. Jim has put forth a lot of effort to grow as the inquiry goes on. The family of Cameron has decided to themselves to reveal an increasing amount of the dark secrets of Chrissy and what lies ahead. Out is definitely incredible docs that were released, and private recordings have come to light, demonstrating that Chrissy's participation in Jim's financial predicament wasn't a coincidence. This action was intentional. It was a carefully considered plot that was created to destroy Jim's career and seize his wealth. But what did Chrissy do? Need to break? Let's gain down. Based on those close to the Chrissy wasn't only in the scenario 4, she was playing a lengthy game with the money. She was aware of Jim's increasing status. She desired to confirm that she had a stronghold on his in the future. She planned several investments, commercial endeavors, and each one was intended to drain a portion of Jim's fortune while retaining him in the final game. She desired to be in the dark. Jim is not in charge. But here's the turnabout as more of Chrissy's dubious when transactions are revealed. It appears that she not only was she planning to harm Jim, but she also working covertly with others. Jim had trusted those who were taking advantage of him. For personal benefit, one of the biggest surprising disclosures to the public, there was a recent admission from according to an unnamed source. Chrissy had maintained continuous communication with Jim's name is being used by rivals to create backroom transactions that finally caused him harm. It's far more than a personal betrayal. It's becoming an increasingly well-coordinated attempt to permanently destroy Jim Jones while the legal pressure continues to grow. The general public is anticipating the fallout. Both sides' legal teams are getting ready for a judicial battle that is unavoidable. And it appears that this might be the battle of the evidence in Jim's life is devastating, and the charges will only intensify if Chrissy is convicted of financial crimes. Jim may be subject to severe manipulation, penalties, including potential criminal charges. Not only is it a career killer, but it's also such a controversy that has the potential to ruin lives. Not to be overlooked is the media storm. The news stories are everywhere, location, and everyone is watching for each turn to Sir Chrissy Lumpkin. Jim Jones and Chrissy's exposure by Cameron is popular worldwide, with both admirers and detractors taking sides. Some are demonstrating support Jim's cry for justice, while others are asking how they can tear into him. Someone with the authority and clout of Jim was so susceptible to deception. But the inquiries are not limited to Jim. They're talking about Chrissy now. What's she? The following step is the comprehension key. The specifics of Chrissy's behavior, and it is increasingly evident that her motives were much more intricate than anyone discovered. That several sources had arrived forward that Chrissy wasn't solely engaged in financial schemes, but was also connected to dubious individuals. from beneath the surface, and this is the kicker, Jim was unaware of his identity. Genuinely in agreement with Chrissy was meticulously maintaining his reputation, while covertly creating addresses those who were abusing him as a piece of a much bigger asterisk. Jim's formerly steady empire is now a game. On the verge of catastrophe, according to industry insiders, the damage could be irreversible from a financial poor management to potential legal implications. Jim's future course is full of doubt, however. The greatest catastrophe of all is that Chrissy was trusted by Jim Jones with his future, his company, and his heart, and she was the worst at betraying him. Potentially, as the pressure builds, Jim's mental health has been negatively impacted. Spent days in hiding and meeting with his legal team and attempting to resolve what's remaining in his career. But regardless of how he makes a lot of effort to patch, the fractures are too profound and the harm is too great. Jim is a fighter at heart, yet even the most formidable combatants have times when they question whether they can prevail in the conflict. Is Jim Jones as we know him coming to an end? As for Chrissy, she has been keeping quiet. According to insiders, she is attempting to keep her distance, but it will only take time before the reality of what she did is revealed. Her reputation is in ruins because of this. And despite her best efforts to spin, the public is aware of the story that has been completed. The walls are enclosing her, and it is getting impossible to conceal the truth. However, is she concerned or does she care? Regarding the harm she has created, only time will inform. The family of Cameron, who have been crucial in revealing Chrissy's transgressions, are now demanding a complete examination of everything Chrissy has participated in. They're demanding sure Jim receives the justice he deserves. And they will not stop until all the details are brought to shed light as the legal dispute continues. We may anticipate even more startling disclosures to come to light. And who knows what Jim Jones's future holds, and Chrissy, the story isn't finished yet. However, one thing is certain, one for the history books is the saga. Will Jim be able to rise from the ashes? Chrissy's deceptive and manipulative network eliminate him permanently. Wow, what has been a roller coaster with twists. The twists in this narrative are definitely crazy, but this is the actual query. Will Jim be the next? To do this, Jones is capable of picking up the fragments of his professional life. Or will Chrissy Lannon's network of deceit and treachery brings the truth has come out, and he is permanently down? However, what lies ahead is anything but sure, but we'd like to know your due. You believe Jim has what it takes, is necessary to overcome the chaos, or is this Chrissy's reign is coming to an end? Culpable, or is she being set up in a larger plot? Please leave a comment below and let's begin the discussion. Whose viewpoints are the more you're on, Jim's or Chrissy's? Ask more questions as you read this article. Don't simply sit there, hit. We're uncovering that comment area and provide us with your handle the entire mess. And hey, if you make sure you hit that if you haven't already. Click subscribe and press the bell so you don't miss the most recent information we've received. Even more shocking disclosures approaching you, and believe me, you'll want to watch this video and be the first to know if you're looking for more drama behind the scenes. And tell your friends about it so everyone is able to participate in. Though we have just touched the surface of the conversation, on the surface of this astounding scandal, and you don't want to lose any time. What will happen to Jim and Chrissy? The whole family will be monitored, everything that comes up, and will be delivering the truth to you in any way startling it might be. Subscribe and stay tuned. And ensure that you participate in this spectacular adventure that you won't regret. This is only the beginning, so let's continue. The approaching truth.